Check. Should be popping up any second. Here we are. Okay. Well, good deal. Here it is. Here's the show. I noticed that Carnival Spirits is streaming right now as well, so I'm assuming that might zap some potential viewers, but that's okay. That's all good. So, I'm going to set this up a little bit so that people know what's going on here. Okay. I'm going to take what we do here during this stream and chop it up a little bit and cut some things, take whatever I want to use and leave some things out or whatever. Make that into the Murder Mayhem Show podcast. That's what I did last week with Roanbone, and most people just ended up watching the live stream playback anyway, so I don't know how many people will actually be watching the podcast, but to the watchers at home that are watching this replay and they're watching this right now, you should know that there will be a much more tighter, edited, cleaned up version going up as a podcast a little bit later. But if you want to watch this raw version, complete with all the stumbles and potential fuck ups and topics that don't go anywhere, that kind of stuff, then you're free to do so. But with that said, welcome to the Murder Mayhem Show live stream edition. I'm joined today with special guest Stonedhenge.
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me. It's an honor to be on.
Oh, no problem. You had me on your show not too long ago. It was a fun time, so why not return the favor? The Masked Man. Have you taken the mask off yet? I know there's been talk of an unveiling for a while. Has that happened yet?
No, the official one hasn't happened yet, but there's a few videos that you get like slight little sneak peeks of me without a mask, but there's never any one time that you can definitely see what I look like. But I like to put little sneak peeks here and there of little shots of my face, or like a very dark picture of my face or something. So, I mean, if you keep your eye out for those, you can see those sometimes. But no, the official unveiling of the mask and everything will be done on Tales of the Lotus podcast once I hit 1,000 subscribers.
Ooh, once you hit 1,000, what are you at right now?
I just passed 500 about a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm at like, I think I'm at like 900 something. I'm trying to hit 1,000 too, because that's when the monetization kicks in. So, yeah, I definitely know the struggle. So, few things to get into, Juggalo news of the week and whatnot. If anybody in the chat has any topics they want to hear about, I'm happy to discuss any Juggalo topic at great length. That is my passion. So feel free to mix it up in the chat if you like. But first thing that I wanted to get into was the new psychopathicrecords.com. Have you had a chance to peep that out yet, Stonedhenge?
Yeah, I looked at it for a quick second, mostly as I just wanted to see what they had listed as the official artist.
Right. And that's actually what I want to get into. The website looks really cool. It has kind of a Fred Fury theme going to it now, but I have been in this extended, never-ending debate with people about ABK, whether or not he's on the label. I have been maintaining forever, for all time, that as long as the website says that ABK's on Psychopathic and ABK's social media pages say that he's on Psychopathic, he must be on Psychopathic. What's that?
And ABK himself.
And ABK, the man himself, coming out of his own mouth. You'd think that would be enough for people, but it never is. So I have been in this never-ending debate for some time, and in fact, I even brought it up last week with Roanbone. It came up once again because we were talking about the Juggalo Gathering website, and I made the same point then that I always make, which is ABK's all over that website, so that's just even more proof positive to me. So I talk about this all the time, but when they updated the website, they did not include ABK and DJ Clay on the artist section of the website.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my many, many years of discussing this, I had to finally say, well, shit, there goes one of my biggest arguments, because that was kind of what I was relying on. That was always what I pointed to and said, look, if according to them, he's there. So who are we to say that he isn't? That was what
Yeah.
I had relied on for so long, that when they had taken him off, I was like, oh shit, well, fuck. I guess I don't have as much of a leg to stand on anymore. So for a
So
moment
yeah,
there, I was saying I guess he's off, but now it would appear just within the last few days that he is back on, just within the span of a week, within from since the last episode I did. They updated the website. He had been removed and is already back up. So I just thought that was a little bit weird. What did you have to say about it?
well, when that first happened, I've always kind of been on that side of like ABK is probably on Psychopathic Records, but I understand that he's not under development by Psychopathic Records at the time. But then again, like who is really anymore? Like no, they're not. Nobody's really exactly
Right.
micromanaged at Psychopathic anymore, like
Mhm.
they used to be back in the old days. But when that first came out, I was like, oh damn. Well, I mean, I guess I was thinking, I guess we could have kind of see this coming a little bit, but then when it put it back on, I was like, all right, that's cool, but where's DJ Clay?
Right. And that's now where we're at now is like, okay, ABK's back up and DJ Clay is still missing from the website. So it's like, well, now the DJ Clay being left off seems all the more intentional, because if leaving ABK off was a mistake or whatever and they corrected it, why have they not bothered to put DJ Clay back up? So Clay's another big one that I've been wondering about lately. Ever since he was off of the fuck off motherfucker tour, I've been kind of scratching my head like, what's his status? And he's been posting stuff about working on his own CD. I don't know what that's all about either, but DJ Clay is on the Gathering website and everything, so I have no reason to believe that there's any bad blood or anything. So there's kind of no telling. It's a story that means nothing to most people, but I'm personally invested in it because it's the argument that I keep making. It's because that's what I keep going to is look at the website, look at the website, look at the website. It's something that I feel personally obligated to talk about. But people always say to me, like, well, why does it even matter what label he's on? What does it matter what label ABK is on? Why does it matter? And I want to say to them, it matters only in as much as anything else in life matters, which is that it really doesn't. It's just that I like to keep up with that kind of shit because it's interesting to me. It's never been a matter of, well, if he's not on Psychopathic, I'm not going to support him, or if he jumps over to some other label, I'm not going to support him. It has nothing to do with that. People try to turn it into that every time I bring this up, but
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is I just like to know because I just like to know. That's all there is to it. So anyway.
Yeah, and I feel like these days Psychopathic Records doesn't exactly like to put it out there when they let an artist go or when an artist leaves. Like we kind of just like the last few times, I feel like we kind of eventually just found out. Like they let us know when Twisted left and when Young Wicked left because they were pretty angry about that and they were kind of venting to the Juggalos when they made those statements and stuff. So, but I feel like ever since then they don't really. There's a lot of times where we've just had to find out and just kind of guess. And I don't know. As for DJ Clay, I'd have to say probably at this point he's probably not on there anymore. And that for two reasons I feel like that. The first one being, of course, he was he's not on the Psychopathic Records website, and they did go out of their time. They took time to go and put ABK back in there, but they didn't put DJ Clay back in there. Like, they must have like intentionally not put him in there for one reason or another.
I would think so, unless I mean, as far as we know, he could pop up there any day now. There's kind of no telling, but I didn't expect to see ABK pop up back up there. I thought that was it. When I saw that he was off that website, I was like, well, I guess that's it then.
That I agree. Like, but here's my theory on this is maybe they're waiting for confirmation from these people. Like, are you with us? Like, maybe they're asking them, like, are you with us? Are you still with us while we're updating this website and getting all this new stuff going? So maybe they're waiting on word from DJ Clay. Maybe that's what happened. Like with ABK, he's been busy. Maybe it took him a minute to get back to them about stuff. So that could be it. But with DJ Clay, the second thing, and the biggest reason to me, and this might sound stupid, but to me, the biggest thing that's got me convinced is someone brought this up to me. I can't remember who. It might have been Danny Boy. He said that DJ Clay, like, he always, every time you saw him, he was always wearing this big, long chain, iced out hatchet man, like all the time. You'd never see him without that thing. And if you go and look at his current pictures and stuff and the recent stuff that's been coming out, we haven't been seeing that hatchet man around him, like that gold iced out hatchet man.
Okay. Yeah. See, I haven't even noticed anything like that, but yeah, that I guess is just one more thing to keep an eye out on, I guess. But I mean, as long as he's still on the Gathering website, then I'm just assuming that whatever's going on, it's got to be all good. I mean, that's just what I go with. That's just what I always default to. I default to everything always being all good. Some people always jump right to drama or whatever, but I always just go right to everything being all good. ABK's been doing a lot of live streams lately, actually, and I haven't been watching them because they're too long and frequent for me to keep up with them, but he's been working on something. I don't know. He's been playing new music on them. I check him out a little bit from time to time, and I don't know. He's keeping busy with something. So,
yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he did say he did have some new stuff coming out on Psychopathic, right?
Totally, yeah, absolutely. That was the last that we heard from him on the matter, which was not that long ago. I believe it was as recently as the Juggalo Unity tour with Blaze that he was talking about that stuff. So that was not that long ago, and as far as I know, it's still coming. Let's see. Mr. Ryan says maybe Clay is not contracted to Psy at the time of website. Maybe working contract issues out. Yeah, I mean, could be. I've just kind of no telling. But DC Fago guy says maybe his feelings are hurt by DJ Carlito taking his place as the show DJ. See, that's I don't know what happened there. That was on the Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour, and it's weird because Clay was on the first few dates, so I don't know if it's a matter of like Clay was replaced or if Clay left and had to be replaced.
Yeah, I mean, you never know about that stuff because there's always situations where artists have to leave tours, or tours in Violent J's case, like tours even have to get canceled and stuff for certain reasons. Like you never really know, and they don't always put out an official reason for that. So you just kind of have to guess, like, all right, did something go wrong? Did something not go wrong? Like, but I mean, maybe something happened, but I don't know. I mean, you gotta think about how he did do that show that was put on for Dead Media, and he did do that and A and B was part of that, and that was a long time ago. So I do feel like maybe if that was part of the reason, that probably would have happened a while ago. But I mean, I don't know. To me, I feel like that could have had something to do with it. I'm not gonna ever leave that out of the possibility because that was Axe Murder Boys. That was Young Wicked. He was basically going and doing a show and partying with the person that they hate the most in the world. So
I'll be honest, I don't particularly remember that. I have heard people bring up a show that he did that Gmo was on.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought Axe Murder Boys was on it. I thought it was Gmo Axe Murder Boys. It was put on by Dead Media, which are allegedly the people responsible for that incident at DCG Con.
See, and people are saying this in the chat too, that Clay was being punished for doing a show with MNE artists. Here's why I don't really buy into that, though, is because he was on the first few dates of the Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour. So why would they even have him on there at all?
I don't know. I mean, but that's also what's got me thinking maybe that's the case, is because they told Light. Light said that he got the okay to do the Thanos track at first, but then they came in later when he went in there to record, and they just changed their mind. Like, I don't know, maybe it takes them it takes them a little bit to like talk about it amongst each other.
That is a remarkably fair point. Yeah, that's true. They did give him the okay at first to do that track, and only pulled the plug later on. So yeah, I suppose that would add up.
You don't know. Maybe they just have to talk about it amongst each other, and then maybe it kind of stirs up feelings when they talk about it each other. Maybe they work each other up, and they decide they're not really okay with it. And like, I don't know. I feel like that's a little fucked up that they say yeah, but then they come in right when he's trying to record and just like say, nope, you're not doing it. I mean, maybe it was the same thing in DJ Clay's case. Maybe they were talking about it up at Psychopathic, and they decided that it was not it wasn't cool or something, or maybe he got grounded or something. I don't know. That's the word on the street, but I haven't seen or heard anything that would exactly confirm or deny that. There's just speculations and hearsay as of right now.
Pig Venus says it was Gmo and Blaze on that show.
Okay, maybe I was wrong then. I do know it was put on by Dead Media for sure, though, and I do remember.
It's hard to keep up. there's so much going on in the world. It's hard to keep up.
For sure.
So, bottom line is, as far as I'm concerned, ABK is still on. DJ Clay's jury is still out. Light was on the website. He's always the big one that people always point to and say that they think he's been booted or that he's leaving or whatever. Especially since Light opened his store, the Monstar store. That was just another thing that gave people a reason to speculate on him. But I always just go with whatever the label says. If the label has him as an artist, then he's an artist. But that never seems to be good enough for people. I use that argument to people, and they always just say to me that the website's outdated or this and that. But I mean, all we have to go on is artist for it. And like you said, it comes out of ABK's own mouth. At least once a year, he has to have this conversation. But I don't blame people for thinking he's gone. I don't know whose fault it is, but without him putting out albums on Psychopathic, it's like, in what way is he on the label other than in writing? You know, it's like he doesn't play like half of the events for whatever reason, either because he can't make it or because he wasn't booked or whatever. But it's like he's not out there the way those other artists are. So it's like I understand why people say that, but it's all good. I'll throw this out in the mix too, because people always think I'm trying to stir the pot when I talk about this. I'm truly not. I only find it interesting on the basis of I find it interesting. It doesn't go beyond that. I'm not looking for the drama or anything, but I've probably met ABK more times than any other artist or celebrity or whatever you want to call him. I've probably met him more times than anyone else just after shows and whatnot. And he is the coolest dude of all time. He's so like easy to get along with and talk to and whatnot that I would never give a fuck what ABK says or does at this point. I would support him no matter what. So
no, ABK is just one of those guys you can look at him and you watch him, you see him in interviews, and you just pick up on his character that he's just a good dude. Like, he's just a positive dude. And I feel like he's one of those guys that, like, if you're in a bad mood and you're going to hang out with this guy, like, there's certain people that are so like positive and about everything that they like. You can't be pissed off or in a bad mood around them. Like you just go around them and you just you like just get happy. He's just that type of being. Like you know that he's a good dude, and you know that like he does, like, I mean, you can see that ABK and Blaze are trying to do everything they can to help with the whole Juggalo rift that's going on lately, like Juggalo Unity tour and stuff. I mean, they got both of those guys got big hearts, so you can see that ABK he's a good guy. Like that's you can watch him and know that he's just a good guy.
Yeah, right on. He's always been very down to earth. I don't know how things work over there at Psychopathic, but for my money, if I had any say in the matter down there, I would be rolling out the red carpet for ABK every chance possible, just to make him feel welcome there at Psychopathic and stuff. Because, you know, he does MNE events all the time and stuff. And if he wanted to push that button and say, I'm hopping over to MNE, I'm sure they would take him. Don't you think? If he like put it out there that he wanted to jump over there, they'd probably take him. So it's like,
I'm not so sure about that. Like,
so?
I don't know. Like, I've always had doubts on if MNE would even want to sign ABK for. I mean, for some reason, I just don't know if they would. I don't. I mean, it would be interesting to me to see what they would do with ABK, like because they tend to bring out like some good characteristics in their artists and stuff. Like we've seen some new stuff from like Boondocks that's been pretty interesting. I mean, I know you say you don't really like a lot of the new stuff that's come out from anybody on Magic Ninja, but I mean they improve their rapping skills and they rap in different ways than we've heard them in the past, so to speak. So I feel like they develop a lot of variety. These people that go to Magic Ninja a lot. So I mean, I feel like it'd be interesting to see, but I just for some reason there's a doubt in my mind that they would actually fuck with ABK on that level. But I always leave the possibility open.
Yeah, and I mean, but like I said, even if that happened, I'm so over it at this point. I wouldn't give a shit anyway. People in the chat are talking a little bit about ABK's Killa Features albums that come out on Native World. Yeah, those are pretty solid. I will give some credit to those for sure. He's been steady putting stuff out through his own stuff. So, what else is going on? Necessary Evil in the chat room says, does anyone have their Gloomy Sunday CDs yet? Put me down for a fat no on that one. I was actually wondering the same thing. I went to the Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour in Dallas. It was one of the last dates. And by the time I got there, they said they were all out of them. It was supposed to be the VIP exclusive CD, and they said they were all out and that they would mail them out. And as of now, I still do not have it. I kind of don't anticipate ever seeing it, but what are you gonna do? Maybe it'll show up sooner or later. That was like February, so enough time has passed now that I've kind of just resigned to the idea of never getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the Gloomy Sunday CD on YouTube and stuff, and I mean, it wasn't that spectacular to me. Like then again, it was very short. There's only a couple songs. I mean, but it was like the songs were okay at best to me, and there was one song that was pretty good, but I don't know. I didn't even care to try to pick up a copy of it.
Well, you could only get it at the VIP on his tour, but I mean, I like that CD enough. I liked it enough to want it. So yeah, I don't know what is up with that. I don't know if that's coming out or not. What else we got? Oh, speaking of tour exclusive CDs, the other big thing that happened this week was the Steve Meets Abu albums came out. Have you had a chance to listen to the Steve Meets Abu album? It's only 2 tracks.
No, I didn't. Isn't there like a track called The Frog, and then there's another track. I can't remember the name of the other one.
Steve Meets Abu. That's the first track, and then the second track is called The Frog. So
no, man, those are in my watch later on YouTube. They're in my watch later playlist. So I haven't watched them yet, because I've been pretty busy the past couple of days. But I haven't listened to them yet. But I was working on getting to that. Are they any good?
Well, they're not bad, but I had some thoughts about the Steve Meets Abu track, which if you haven't heard it, then I guess you won't really be able to weigh in on it. But it sounded to me like it was a song that was. I'll be delicate in how I word this because I know people are just going to say I'm wrong, like they always do about everything that I say. It sounds to me like it's a song about justifying terrorism attacks.
Oh, damn.
Which the song is repeatedly asking you, like, imagine this, imagine this, imagine this. It's like, imagine that you're living in the Middle East and you don't know about war and everything is peaceful and you just want to worship your own way, and then America comes in and starts fucking with you, and then it just builds and builds and builds on that until the end of the song when it's becomes a suicide bomber attack. And it feels to me like they're excusing it or rationalizing it or justifying it. I don't know. I didn't fully agree with the way that I interpreted the song. Some people have told me that my take is way off, but I don't know. I've heard the song a few times now. That's kind of what I'm going with. It feels to me. What?
I wouldn't say that you're probably pretty far off, because lately, like you got to admit, ICP has been on this like aliens and government conspiracy type of thing lately. You had that song come out on Flip the Rat Hawking, where they talked about a bunch of conspiracy theories and stuff. They're showing like videos of how like there's irrefutable proof that aliens exist. They did like 2 whole episodes on the Juggalo show about that. Like, I don't know. I feel like that you're probably on the right track at the very least, because they have been talking a lot about that type of stuff. And from what you said, that does sound like something that was, they're on this, I'm not trusting the government train right now, and everything is a conspiracy and they're all out to get us type of thing right now. So,
right. Yeah, I feel the same way. And I feel like that really kicked in really over the last couple of years. And I attribute that a lot to the whole FBI gang situation. Like, I remember, like, 10 years ago or whatever, ICP used to say that they really loved this country because there they were, 2 guys that came from nothing at all, and they were able to build up into the successes they are. And they always took that as like a positive thing about America. But now, ever since all this gang stuff and whatnot, it seems like they're getting more and more in the weeds with conspiracies and stuff. And yeah, like you said, Hawking, that's a song that I have a lot of big problems with, because I hope they don't believe everything they're saying in that song. Because if you ask me, there's some pretty screwed up stuff in that song. Like, they say in that song that like 9/11 is a government conspiracy. That's fucked up. I'm sure me saying that that's fucked up is somehow going to piss people off, but I'm sorry, it is. They also say in that song that like the government killed Eazy-E and Tupac, which I find incredibly disrespectful. So not disrespectful to the government. I find that disrespectful to Eazy-E and Tupac to turn their death into some kind of conspiracy thing when, if you ask me, that had nothing to do with it. So yeah, with the aliens and shit, they're just getting more and more in the weeds with that kind of stuff. And I don't know if that's where they're going as a group. I don't know if we're going to be hearing more of that stuff in the future on the future Joker's cards and whatnot. But I don't know. I just hope they keep it in check just a little bit. Like, I hope they don't get too political, too in that direction. They never really were before, so it just kind of caught my ear to hear that kind of stuff.
A lot of people I've seen think that Hawking, they're just talking about like different conspiracies, not necessarily that they believe them. But I'd say all the proof is in the Juggalo show. I mean, because like they talk about like in the Juggalo show, like how the government is hiding stuff. They're shady. They're doing this. They're doing that. Like, so the proof is all in the Juggalo show, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah.
they definitely believe in this stuff. So, I mean, Hawking, I feel like they more really believe the stuff that they're talking about. And like, I mean, me myself, like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do happen to find them very interesting, so I do look into all of them, and I do like to research them like in and out, because whether they're real or not, they're pretty interesting. A lot of them. I don't say that I believe them, all of them, not even most of them, but I just find them interesting, and I like to look into it and kind of formulate my own opinion on it. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I thought they were interesting because I just find that type of stuff interesting. So it was a cool song for me. It's the alien episode. It was cool for me because I just like to research just weird shit, just try to educate myself on whatever and whenever I can about the stuff, So,
Yeah. That was one wild episode. I saw that Juggalo show as well. Him and Jump Steady both were like way on board with all that stuff. They were like way into the aliens and all that stuff. And, another line that I just remembered on Hawking is something about how the government can control the weather. So it's like, okay,
well,
if this is like a fantasy song, then more power to them. But if they actually believe that the government is controlling the weather, then I legitimately look out for them.
well, I'd say that, well, there's a conspiracy theory that the government has like weather modification or something where they can influence what the weather is or whatever. So, I mean, that's what they're trying to get at with that. I can't speak on that. I don't even, it's not even been relevant enough for me to even look up if you even ask me. So
I think a lot of juggalos are really into it. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, so I kind of keep an eye on what the Twitter juggalos are saying, at least. And a lot of juggalos do kind of buy into that conspiracy stuff. So I think I'm probably going to take some heat, even for just saying right here and now that I don't buy into any of that bullshit. It's all bullshit, if you ask me. I don't buy into government conspiracy. I mean, not on the level of the government did 9/11. Obviously there's plenty of horrible, fucked up things the government has done that we can prove easily. So I'm not saying that the government is blameless by any means, but as far as like alien cover-ups and shit, not into it at all. I do not believe in aliens whatsoever, but what are you gonna do? I know people are gonna say I'm an idiot for saying that, so here we are. All right. What are people talking about in the chat? Yeah, Necessary Evil brought up, says the stage part of the VIP was canceled for the Shaggy tour. Yeah, that's also correct. There was never an opportunity to get on stage. What else? Necessary Evil says Hoodoo and ABK are still making the have-nots. I don't know about making the have-nots, but they are about to go on a have-nots tour, so that will be cool. Well, why there's no have-nots album, I have no fucking idea. It's that kind of stuff that Psychopathic is just missing out on opportunities. Like, if they put out a have-nots EP even at the Gathering this year, that shit would blow up. But I don't expect to see that. So I don't know why that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Homer's Radio says, as long as ICP is on Psychopathic, that's all I care about, really. Yeah, that's fair. I'm inclined to agree with that. Oh, shit. I think Stonedhenge just dropped off. Not sure what happened there. Hold on a second. See, this is why if you're watching the live stream, then you're going to see shit like this happen. Well, hopefully he hops back on. Not sure what happened. He still has the link. I'll continue to read comments. Pretend like nothing happened. Okay, Mr. Ryan says people have been getting their gloomy Sundays. Just be patient. All right, thanks. I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep checking the mail. Danny Boy says ABK said he's sitting on a bunch of Have Nots songs. I have no doubt he's sitting on a lot of ABK songs as well. Homer's Radio says you hear Shaggy's response to Jay talking to Adam22 about conspiracies. Too Dope didn't seem too enthralled. I did notice that. As a matter of fact, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was on that behind the scenes video that Adam22 put out. And that is exactly how Shaggy seemed pretty checked out of it. But, I mean, he's the one singing the lyrics right along with Jay. I'm pretty sure that it's Shaggy that drops the 9/11 line on Hawking. I could be wrong about that, but he's definitely saying the lines. I don't know what the fuck happened to Stonehenge. So I guess I'll just go on. Oh, shit. Is he back? You there, Stonehenge? Who knows? Okay. Well, man, that's really kind of annoying that happened. Oh, well. Another big thing that happened in Juggalo adjacent news is the new Yellow Wolf Trunk Music 3 that dropped just last Friday. I thought that was the shit. Oh, Stonehenge, you back? Can you hear me?
I'm back.
All right.
I'm back.
All right. It's all good.
All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Like, I don't know what that was. Like, I think my internet shit just died for a second.
Hey, it happens. I don't feel badly about it at all because I told everyone up top that the video was bound to have some fuck ups. That's what happens when things go live. Homer's Radio says Jay writes a lot of lines and Too Dope takes them. Yep, true, very true. And Shaggy always seems like a go with the flow kind of guy, so he probably wouldn't put up too much of a fight if Jay wrote some shit he didn't agree with. So who's to say?
I don't know exactly what I missed so far, but I wanted to ask you before we got off like the whole conspiracy subject. Did you see the Juggalo show where they were talking about the Mandela effect and Jumpsteady he completely lost his shit at the end of that episode?
When he saw that what is it, the scarecrow with the gun in the Wizard of Oz?
Yes, that was it.
He felt like his world was falling apart. I remember, yeah, that's funny you brought that up. I remember it so clearly when they pulled that picture up. Jumpsteady was like, no. He was like, you can't tell me that was always in there.
Like, yeah, I would have remembered a gun. That's it. We are living in a simulation, and right. That's final. Mm-hmm. That was just amazing for me. Like,
and I don't agree with that at all. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff that like the Bruce brothers have always been on in a big way, like that kind of supernatural stuff. And if I would have been there during that Mandela effect episode, I would have been saying the same thing that that Nathan dude was saying that was there when he just kept shutting it down every time. That would have been me, just like, I don't believe in parallel universes. I don't believe in 90% of that stuff. So,
well, I like to. I've researched human psychology, so that could be explained with one simple, like, the human brain. Actually, when you remember certain things, like you don't remember everything. You just remember the basic points. And so, when your brain can't remember something that happens, like sometimes it will fill that gap of a memory of its own, basically, of something that similar, something that you could, something that's close to what happened. Usually that's why you might watch a video and like go back and be like, I remembered it saying something else. That's because you watched it probably one time and you thought you knew what was said, but your mind just kind of fills that gap, so to speak.
Right. And I think they even said it on the Juggalo show, but like a lot of times they don't even let like witness testimony in as admissible evidence in court cases because that's just how unreliable the memory is. So
yeah, we actually talked about that very thing in my psychology class. It's like that's why the lawyers, the attorneys, who's doing the prosecution or whatever, they can be very if they're clever enough with how they word it, if they can manipulate your mind enough, they can actually get you to think all right, maybe I do remember that. Like if they implant that thought into your head, it'll turn into a memory, like for a lot of people. Like it is possible. So that's another thing why. Like it's very, if you ask me, it's that could all be explained with that. So I mean, I find Mandela effects like interesting and whatnot, and I look them up, but I feel like I could explain that with just basic science.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting, and I didn't remember most of that shit that they were talking about. I didn't remember the scarecrow with the gun, and I'm one of those Berenstein Bear people. That's like the most notorious example. And I love the Berenstain Bears as a kid. And until that came out that it was Berenstain, I would have sworn that it was Berenstein. That's the way I remember it. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
is
never
weird.
thought
I admit
I've
it is weird.
never,
What?
I never even had excuse for that one, because that could just be all dialect and how you pronounce it depending on
But
where.
even the way it's spelled, though, it's like clearly stain, like Stain, I think. But regardless, it's all just faulty human memory and whatnot, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about, the new Yellow Wolf Trunk Music 3 album. Do you fuck with Yellow Wolf at all?
I do, but not very majorly.
Right.
I do. There's quite a few songs that I like by him, and I do respect his grind. But there's just a lot of other stuff that I listen to more, so I devote more of my time listening to that other stuff.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep up with everything that comes out these days. There's so much. So you kind of just have to like pick and choose which artists you're going to keep up with and which ones you're going to catch up to later. Yeah.
Especially if you're a Magic Ninja fan or a Strange Music fan, they got so much. Like Tech9 just himself has an album come out every month and a half or so. So I mean,
yeah, Strange Music is a tough one. There's still Strange Music albums that I still haven't got around to checking out with, but Yellow Wolf is one of the dudes that I stick with, and especially this album, Trunk Music 3, so it's the third in a series, which makes it all the more interesting to want to listen to, but it's also his final Shady Records album. He's been on Shady since the Radioactive album. I think that's like 2011, maybe, I want to say off the top of my head. So that's been a pretty long relationship, and this was his last Shady Records album. So I peeped that out the day that it came out. Pretty good, not bad at all. Like there's 14 tracks on it, and I would say that like 7 or 8 of them are really good. So I call that a win. I remember as a young kid once, my cousin said to me that if a CD has 2 good songs on it, it's a good CD. And that was like 28 years ago that he told me that, and it's always stuck with me. It's kind of, I still kind of carry that with me to this day. Like, other than ICP albums, which I hold an incredibly high bar to, for the most part, yeah, if an album has 1 or 2 new songs that you can add to your rotation, I call that a win. So, especially if I'm not buying the album, I just stream the shit on Spotify. So what kind of a dickhead would I be to complain about an album that I streamed on Spotify? But I like Yellow Wolf. Big fan. Do you go to gatherings? Have you been to the gathering?
No, I haven't been to the gathering yet. Like, we had all our guns set on going this year, but unfortunately some shit ended up happening with our apartments. So we're still dealing with that right now.
It happens.
So I mean, life happens, you know, got to deal with shit.
I only bring it up because Yellow Wolf was at the gathering last year, and he fucking maybe did the craziest performance. Not even maybe. I'm going to go ahead and say that was the craziest performance I've ever seen in my life. And the sad thing is that the YouTube videos don't even capture the pandemonium of it all, because people
You're talking about the fireworks, right?
Fuck yeah, I am. And I don't condone it at all. Like, that it should not be happening. People should not be throwing fireworks on stage, regardless of whether or not the artist on stage asks for it. And he did literally ask for it. He said, shoot some of those fireworks up here. And people did.
You can't say that to Juggalos.
No. So it's like, as awesome as that was, and so far that's the only time I've seen Yellow Wolf live, but as awesome as that was, like, I don't I don't particularly think that I'm not I don't as much as I love him, I don't think he should be back for his own good, for his sake. I would love to see him, but I think if he goes back, people are just going to try to outdo themselves and he's going to get his fucking arms blown off or something. But I still regret skipping out on the Yellow Wolf Ritz tour that came through here like 5 years ago or something. That would have been his shit. But anyway,
Yeah,
Trunk Music 3. Trunk Music 3, I recommend to the Yellow Wolf fans out there, if there are any. Okay, so what's going on in the chat? Danny Boy says, Mitch, you realize there's going to be more fireworks this year. People are going to go ham for Gathering 20. It's so true, damn it. People, please chill out with the fireworks. Please don't burn this place to the ground. It's our first time there. If we show up there for the first time and burn the place down, they'll never have us back, and that'll be one more location that wants nothing to do with us. So,
and there's a lot of trees there too.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But Yellow Wolf, one more cool thing about his performance though was when he came out, he said something like, I represent Shady here with love, like, because he knew obviously about all the beefs and stuff in the past and whatnot. That's what he was referencing. So he made mention of the fact when he was on stage, like, I'm a Shady artist on this stage and I come with love. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Fresh. Like that's respect right there.
Yeah, totally. And he went on right before ICP. So that's like the primo spot. Doesn't get any better than that. Homer's Radio says they had no fireworks capitalized and underlined on the Gathering website rules. And then as Danny Boy replies right after, he says they do every year. Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna do jack shit. They do that every year. That way, in case something happens, they can point to that and say, we told them not to, but it never gets enforced. So yeah, who knows? Next thing to talk about, the sadness of Nipsey Hussle. Did you keep up with him or any of? I mean, everyone knows now about his tragic murder and whatnot, but did you follow his music at all?
Unfortunately,
I mean, I'll go out there first and say I didn't keep up with his music or listen to him, or to be honest, I really didn't like his music to begin with. So what did you have to say about it?
I didn't even know about him until about like either this morning or yesterday when I started seeing it on the news everywhere. Like,
right.
I didn't even I've heard that a lot of people are very affected by it. Like, apparently he was a very nice guy, very kind guy. So I didn't hear about him. I've never heard about him. I don't think I've heard any of his music before. But I mean, it sucks to see like a lot of people, like, he was an icon for a lot of people, obviously. So I mean, it always sucks to see people hurt because like their icon is no longer there. So I mean, I feel for those people.
Right. Yeah. And I only go out of my way to say that I didn't listen to his music because I hate it when people just put on a front like they're personally affected by this death when truthfully they didn't even know. Like, not for him specifically, but just in general. People always tend to do that. When something like this happens, people always want to jump out there with their feelings and stuff, which is understandable if you're legitimately a big fan of the guy, but I hate it when people just jump on the bandwagon when stuff like that happens. So I put myself on blast first to say I really didn't like his music that much, but that has nothing to do with the tragedy of it all. And it's just one more thing to point to and say, we've got to stop the madness. all you see on the internet is people just stirring up shit all the time. And I don't know the exact circumstances that led to his death. I know they just recently arrested someone, a suspect in custody. So I couldn't tell you the details of his death, I couldn't tell you the details of his death specifically, but just in general, we've got to chill out on stirring the pot all the time. And people were sad about his death and still are. And at the same time, turn around and go right back to stirring the pot between, artist A and artist B or whatever. It's like, can't we take a break from all the shit starting for at least a little bit in the wake of another rapper getting killed? It's happening so much lately, either getting killed or just other tragedies. But gosh, how many iconic rappers have we lost just in the last year and a half? It just seems like it's happening more and more now.
They're dropping like flies out here. It's getting dangerous out here. I don't know. It has been pretty. There's been a lot of them. Definitely a lot of them.
Right, and I've been fortunate enough, I guess, in that nobody that I particularly listen to, it hasn't happened to any of them yet, but it could. Anything could happen to anyone at any time. So
definitely,
everyone just needs to chill the fuck out. As much as I didn't really listen to his music, I still felt compelled to say something about him. Just as a fan of the hip hop culture in general, something had to be said. So wanted to bring that up, give some credit to that. Next topic. We've been going for a while now, but still a few more things I wanted to touch on. I asked a question on my Facebook page a few weeks ago, or I asked a question on my Twitter page a few weeks ago, and I said that I was going to talk about it on my podcast, and then I forgot. So I didn't. But we can get into it now. And the question was, what are some non-Joker's Cards ICP songs that you think could have or should have made it onto a Joker's card? So I got a lot of good responses from that on Twitter. Wanted to run down some of these. And if you have any thoughts on the matter, feel free to jump in as well.
I believe I submitted mine to that.
I'm sure you did. Quite a few people did. So I'm just going to skim through the list here. Advanced Loser says Off the Track from The Calm and If I Was a Serial Killer from The Tempest.
I love Off the Track.
Yeah, me too. Although that's a song that thematically probably wouldn't even work on a Joker's card, because isn't that whole song about we're off the track? Isn't that referring to the Joker's cards? But that aside, it is good enough, I would say. So
I don't know. People hate on The Calm a lot, but I absolutely love that record. That's great.
It's hit and miss. I know I wouldn't say I hate on it, but it's about half and half to me. Humble Among says Sleepwalker, Prom Queen, The Dirtball, $50, and Jacob's Word. Those are all tremendous choices.
I believe Prom Queen is the one that I submitted.
Very good. Juggalos Against Domestic Violence says Tilt-A-Whirl, Take Me Away, If I Was a Serial Killer. Good choices, of course. Beneath the Dirt says Dead End featuring Ice-T. That is an awesome song. What else we got here? Here's you. Yeah, you said Prom Queen. Here's one that I wanted to get into. Kitty Kush says Crystal Ball, God damn it. And I wanted to chime in on that because I've always pushed the notion that if they would have taken the best tracks from Bizarre and made that the 6th Joker's card, it would have been better than the Wraith. I've always said that. I always have said that people sometimes give me some pushback on that because they say that Bizarre doesn't have enough of a theme to it to be a Joker's card, much less a 6 Joker's card. I don't know. A lot of the Joker's cards don't really stay on theme that much anyway. So I feel like if you just threw in an intro and some other bells and whistles, you could give Bizarre a theme without having to do too much to it. Each CD is kind of short as it is because they both have like 10 minutes of silence before the bonus track. So you don't even have to cut that much. So I think Crystal Ball would have been an awesome like final track on the final Joker's card.
It could work, but I mean, for me, Bizarre, that could work as a Joker's card, but I don't think it could work good as the 6th Joker's card, the final Joker's card of the first deck. I don't think that it was better than the Wraith in that aspect, but I do think it could be a Joker's card. And shit, what was the last thing you just said? I already forgot.
I was talking about Crystal Ball.
Yeah, Crystal Ball. That to me almost feels like almost like a Dark Lotus track.
Yeah, could have been. I mean, that would have fit in as a Lotus track as well. So, wanted to get into that a little bit. So, what other topics we got? Are you on any kind of a time schedule, or you good?
No, I'm not on any time limit.
We've been going for a while, but I like doing it. So, since I already told everyone up front that it could get long and boring, then I don't feel badly about it. And once again, I'll restate that I'm going to chop this up into a podcast. So let that be known. Last week when I did this, it kind of fucked my podcast views because everyone just watched the live stream instead. All the people that usually listen to the podcast just watch the live stream instead, which kind of, I wouldn't say it bothered me, but it was like, I feel like the podcast was a lot better than just the raw live video. So I was kind of like, damn, I wish more people would have watched the podcast instead. But hold on 1 second. You can talk about whatever. I'm be back in like 30 seconds. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, what's up? Do you want to know who's behind this mask? This is the only thing I can think of to talk about right now. So give me your face and listen closely, fam. Do you want to know who's behind this mask? Well, guess what? Go to my channel, Stonedhenge 420, and hit the subscribe button. And once we get 1,000, I'll be unmasking live on Tales of the Lotus podcast. So make sure you subscribe to Tales of the Lotus podcast as well. Much love and shout outs to Tales.
Man, I love those dudes. I'm on that show like every opportunity that I have. Sometimes I have to keep myself from going on just because I don't want to annoy them or annoy the people watching. Because when I get on that show, I just talk and talk and talk. And some of those shows get up to like 4 or 5 hours. Especially, I feel like when I'm on there, especially, it just goes and goes because I just stay on until literally everybody has to go. Like a lot of times I'll be the last person there pretty much. So yeah, definitely shout out to Tales from Lotus podcast. Those guys do excellent work.
Some good dudes over there. Definitely some good dudes over there. Like there's some of they're pretty much like my favorite people on the Juggle internet right now. Like they're just like, I don't know how people can say anything bad about them.
Yeah, who knows? You know, they have some beefs and shit. Well, I don't need to get into that, but there's always fucking people talking shit about each other. That's just how the fucking internet works.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. How do you do your podcast? Do you have like a schedule or YouTube, whatever you want to call it? Do you have like a set time that I see you coming on at all times, weird random times a night. How do you decide? You just do it when you feel like it, or?
Well, it started out, I was doing my shows on Monday night at 8 o'clock. And that got to be conflicting for me because, like, I always get paid on Mondays, so I'm always running around doing shit, picking up stuff, doing all my adultish responsibilities that suck and shit. So I'm always taking care of that on Mondays. Sometimes I wouldn't even get home in time to do the show. So like it just got to the point where like actually having a set schedule and time was making it so that I couldn't do the show. So at a certain point, I was like, look, you guys, I'm gonna just go live whenever I can. Like I'll give you guys as much notice as I can. So make sure you hit the Twitter. Like make sure you stay up on my Twitter, and you guys will know when I'm about to go live. But like I have to pretty much do it whenever I can do it now, because my schedule is so crazy at this point. Like on the days that I'm working and the days I'm not working. So like sometimes I just want to come home and do a stream. Like a lot of times I'll do a stream just to go and like hang out and stuff. So
yeah, well, that's what's that's what's great about doing the Tales from the Lotus podcast is it feels more like people just hanging out. It doesn't even really feel as much like a show as just people hanging out. Yeah, I've been tinkering lately with different times for live streams and whatnot, different ways of doing it. You probably have the right idea by just going on whenever, and that might be the best way to do it. But my concern is I don't want to go on the same time as somebody else. I mean, there's only...
I had that problem. Yes. Yeah. I had that problem last time I did the stream. Like I came home from work and I was going to do a little hangout before I went to bed and shit. Cause I work overnights and shit. So usually go to bed after I get home, but I'm like, man, I'm going to chill with the Juggalos for a little bit, but I ended up eating a burger and I got tired and passed out. So then I wake up earlier and like I'm setting stuff up to go live. And then all of a sudden Tales of the Lotus podcast goes live and I get the notification for it. I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah. Someone needs to get in touch with all the podcasters and make like a schedule, like a TV guide, essentially saying when everybody goes on. I think that would be a good way to maximize viewership. I think there's only like, I usually only see like no more than 30 people at a time watching the streams, aside from CPN. I saw CPN streaming the other day and he had like fucking 400 viewers or some shit.
I know.
That guy's definitely killing it in the viewers department. But he goes on like Friday nights, I think. The one time that I did a stream on a Saturday night, I had like twice as many viewers. Right now, I only have 9. So what are you going to do? That just comes with doing it late at night on a Wednesday, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, well, let me tell you that the best thing about going live just whenever is because now I do it like at all different times of the day. And there's always going to be people that have them set schedules and they won't always be able to catch it. If you have a set schedule time, there's certain people that are not ever going to be able to catch it live. So if I do like some streams like during the nighttime, there's people that are available during the night that watch. And then if I do it during the day people can watch. And let me tell you, them day juggalos in the chat room are freaking crazy. And like you can do like there's morning people, like so if you do it different times of the day, then you can catch like a whole like bunch of different people in your audience, a bunch of different people in your chat room you've never seen before. Like as soon as I started doing a stream like in the morning, like I had several people in the chat room that I'd never had before. So I mean it helps to spread it out so other people can view your channel live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to jump around a little bit more from day to day, but it's kind of just opportunity. This is really one of my only opportunities to do it. I work overnight as well. Like you just said that you work overnight. I work overnight. So to me, this is like the afternoon right now. So if people can't watch, then there's nothing I can do about that, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm off today, so and my girl's off today, so we actually woke up this morning and went to the Tulsa Zoo, and had to come home and take a nap before I jumped on here with you because like I was worn out after that shit.
Yeah, and I did it this late because I wanted to. I didn't want to get on Roanbone shit because Roanbone at the Beneath the Dirt podcast, he does a show live on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock or something, 9 o'clock for me, my time. And I didn't want to go on the same time as him, so I pushed my shit back a little bit to make sure that I'm not taking any of his viewers and shit. So yeah.
Yeah, like, it's like that's the awesome thing about like the Juggalo YouTubers is I love how respectful we try to be of each other's shows. Like a lot of we try not to go on at other people's time. I mean, of course, like if there's other people that are in the stream at the time, then you want to be able to have people in your chat room too. But like I mean, it makes it so like if there's enough of us, there's enough juggalos to come and hang. Like there's always a place to hang out, basically. So I think that's really cool about like the YJC Juggalo YouTube community.
Yeah, it seems like there's always someone on. There's like I'll be at work sometimes, and Carnival Spirits will be on, and it's like, oh great, I get to watch this for an hour and a half instead of paying attention to my job. So yeah, it seems like there's always somebody on. I think a neat idea would be for someone to do like a Juggalo show after show, you know, like the fucking Talking Dead and shit like that. Like if somebody started a stream right after the Juggalo show and talked about whatever they talked about, that would be neat. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. I might do that myself.
So I've actually done that before. I did something like that. Like I watched the video, then I took notes over it, and then I started recording this is before I started doing live streams. And I started recording my own like synopsis of it and my own thoughts to go along with what was going on. And then something happened, and like I get almost done with the video, and the shit just like deleted itself somehow, and like it didn't ever save or something. And then like I get up and then I look at it, and like I just like, man, like it kind of took away my encouragement to do it again at the time. So
it can be so frustrating. It's happened to me before, where I've recorded like an hour and then I look at the shit and it stopped recording after 5 minutes, and it's just like, fuck, nothing I can do but re-record the whole fucking shit all over again. I'm like, it feels to me like 90% of doing a podcast or anything creative in the digital space is just fixing shit that breaks. Like it's 10%, 10% doing the 10% content, 90% fixing shit that breaks. Every fucking time you try to do anything, there's 1,000 things you got to fix first. Like these days, you gotta be good on the air and fucking computer expert just to get your shit to work.
Like and I'm sure you've seen my shows. Like I've had technical difficulties after technical difficulties every single show. Like I had that when you came on, I had to turn on Hangouts on my phone and put it right here so that I could watch you on my screen right here, but then like your voice would be coming from over here on my phone, which was like doubling, and there's like two of me on the screen. It was like, man, it's just like, it's crazy sometimes. Like I actually quit doing it because I got so frustrated with it.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, do you have any other Juggalo shit to talk about before we wrap it up here? Talked about podcasts for a while. I'll probably cut that out of the podcast. Do you have any other Juggalo things to talk about?
Well, I did have a question for you. Twisted is coming to Tulsa here in May 8th, I believe. Coming to like some place called like the Vanguard.
Vanguard, yep.
Are you going to that show?
Damn right I am. I plan on doing a VIP as well. Are you going to that show?
I'm planning on, I really want to go to it, and I don't see any reason yet why I shouldn't be able to, so I think I'm going to go to it.
All right, awesome.
Want to meet up there and just like chill out with some shit? Like,
definitely.
Just let me know.
Yeah, what are you going to the ICP show in Oklahoma City?
I haven't even seen that yet, that they're coming to Oklahoma City.
Sure are. Yep, Oklahoma City. They're coming to like 4 or 5 places that are in like driving range to me. They're coming to Wichita. They're coming to Dallas. They're coming to like a few places. Dackins in the chat, which is my childhood friend. He says, what day is Twisted? I know it's on a Wednesday. What day did you say that was on, Twisted in Tulsa?
It's on May 8th. Hold up.
I know it's on a Wednesday. That's all I can say for sure. That is.
All right. So, yeah, it'd be on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's May 8th. Okay, yeah, May 8th.
Yeah, that ICP tour will be so fucking awesome because it's got Ritz and Mac Lethal and DJ Paul and Ouija Mac
We're going.
and then some other people that I don't care about, but that's quite a fucking lineup.
No, I was looking at, like, I guess they hadn't released the Oklahoma dates yet, so I was looking at it. I was looking at it and sorry, I was looking at the lineup and I didn't see Oklahoma anywhere yet, but I was like, man, this is such a fresh lineup. And I told my girlfriend, like, babe, if they come like close enough, like, we gotta go to this shit. Because
they're coming to Oklahoma City, so definitely check that out then. And I think Mac Lethal is only on half of the tour, but he is on the half that Oklahoma City is in.
Man,
so.
they fucking got. I love Mac Lethal. Like, Mac Lethal is like a rap god to me.
Yeah, have you seen him live before?
I've never seen Mac Lethal. I'm sorry, I really haven't been to very many live shows. I've been lucky enough to see Tech Nine, Stevie Stone. I've seen ICP live. I've seen Young Wicked live. I've seen there's a couple other people I've seen slipping my mind right now. It's been
You're still young, probably. I have no idea. You seem like you're still young. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm 24, so I'm young.
I'm 34 almost. I saw Mac Lethal open for Twisted a few years ago. That was like 2016. So he was the shit. That was the first and so far only time that I've seen him live, and he fucking killed the shit. So that is definitely something worth seeing. His live show is pretty impressive, just like his YouTube videos. So definitely check that out if you can. One more thing to get out there. This is big news, kind of. Oh, are you there? Did you drop off, or are you still there? Okay, well, I don't know. Fucking A. Oh, I was just about to get into something. Oh, well. Well, I don't know if he's here or not. Maybe he'll join us again. But one piece of news to leave you on. Man, I really don't want to just end the show without him here, since he was here for the whole show. But regardless, I'll give it a few minutes. See if I can find anything else to talk about in the meantime. What else is going on? I saw on Fago Lovers that Saint Dog is in jail. Don't know what the fuck that is all about, but I guess there's some kind of free Saint Dog hashtag going on.
Oh,
hello.
Shit.
Yeah, I was just killing time while you were gone talking about Saint Dog being in jail.
Shit, Mitch, I can't hear you again, bro. Like, I don't know if it's like raining where you are right now, but it's like piss pouring where I'm at. So I'm losing connection and shit right now.
Okay. You can't hear me?
Okay. All right. Well, I want to say much love and thank you for having me on, bro. It's been an honor, and you're always welcome on my show anytime. 2 scoops of the Wicked Whoops. I'll let you wrap this up. So, yeah, just get at me on Twitter whenever, and let me know whenever you're trying to do another collab. I'm down anytime.
Yeah,
so
good
much
deal.
love to the chat, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cool. Yes. Peace out to Stonedhenge. Thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure. So, big news here for me. I teased this a few weeks ago, and I forgot to talk about it. I have a bad habit, apparently, of teasing things and then forgetting to talk about it. And it may not mean anything to you, but I think it's pretty cool. Soon, I will be debuting a new wing of the Mitchell Empire in the form of a brand new Twitch channel. Yes, I will be starting a Twitch channel for retro, old school video games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega. I've already got the shit all set up and worked out. The name of the channel is the freshest part. If you're a juggalo, it is twitch.com/whowantagame. That is the name of the Twitch channel, Who Want a Game. obviously inspired by the ICP song Game Over. But I wanted to start a Twitch channel for a long time. I just didn't know what to call it. And then that song came out, and I was like, oh shit, it fell right into my lap. So that is coming soon. I do not have a date on that yet, but it's not necessarily going to be a Juggalo channel, but with me on it and you guys watching it, obviously we're going to talk about Juggalo shit. So if you want to talk Juggalo shit while you watch me play the shit out of some old school video games, check out my upcoming Twitch channel, Who Won a Game. I'll be putting the links out and whatnot after this episode. So to me, that's the shit. I will have a great time doing that. And keep an eye out for that. So on that note, I think that just about wraps this up. You can check out all the links to Murder Mayhem Show, everything on murdermayhemshow.com. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. If you're watching this live stream back on YouTube as a replay, then like I said at the top of the show, there's also a podcast edition of this episode coming out soon. So keep that in mind if you like. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Pig Venus says he doesn't give a shit that St. Dog's in jail. I'm just going to leave that alone. Peace out.